Alright, so I'm gonna start baking or making the chocolate for the frog mold. If you want to know where we were inspired from, it was one of the Harry Potter books, Prisoner of Azkaban, page 213. Harry woke up like in his dorm with like nobody. Nobody was there. Only Ron. And Ron was eating one of these peppermint toads. That's why we're gonna make it. Now we got all of the ingredients here. We got the syrup. We have the gel. We have this cream of tartar, heavy cream. We also have a conversion table. So like if we don't have a certain measuring spoon, we can look at this and see how many of one thing we have to put in. And we have this sugar. It's plant-based sugar. And I don't even know what that word is.
Erythritol.
Erythritol.
And
monk fruit. That's the sugar. It's really healthy. It's better than regular white sugar. And yeah, so I already poured this stuff in. Because as we talked about at the store, orange and blue make brown. And since they didn't have any brown, we're making our own brown. So I'm gonna start here. Since we're not gonna be using this anymore, I'm just gonna use every last bit. Alright, now we're going to mix in the green with the brown to kind of get that like toad color. Because toads aren't green or brown. They're like both. Like frogs are green sometimes. If your frog isn't green, then I think...
Well, some frogs are poisonous.
Yeah.
And you can tell by the color of their skin, so yeah. There are a variety of frogs in the color spectrum that are actually dangerous. Not really in these parts, maybe.
I think we might have to cut it a little bit more. You mind getting the scissors for me, Dad?
Sure, I can see. Alright.
Now that we got our mix, we're going to set that aside. Alright guys, so now that we're done with the food or the coloring stuff for the toads, now we're going to add in 1 cup of sugar. Remember, this is the healthy monk fruit sugar. What we're going to do is we're going to take this cup and we're going to like pour it in. Remember, do it over the bowl so that it doesn't, if any falls, it'll just fall into the bowl and there might be a little extra. That's enough. Start smoothing it out. Dump that in there. Alright. Now it calls for 2 tablespoons of syrup. Let's see, is this a tablespoon? Yep, this is a tablespoon. Remember, we also want to pour it over the bowl so that if any spills, it'll spill onto the bowl. You just gotta do so we gotta open it up. That was cool. The syrup just went from like the top to bottom. Screw this back on. Alright. Pop that open. that's enough. I'll just pour that in there. Oh, maybe a little more because of the excess. Nah, that's good. Alright. Tablespoon. Now we're gonna add, it says 1/8 of a teaspoon. Alright, cream of tartar. So now I already mixed the bowl up. Kinda got the perfect color. It's a little bit orange, but that'll have to do for now. I'm gonna add 6 drops of peppermint oil. 3, 4, 5, 6.
I would say probably add a little bit more just because now we're making a lot more than what the recipe called for.
Mhm.
So maybe add like 6 more drops.
4, 5. Alright, and I'm gonna mix that up again. Just to make sure that the peppermint oil is well mixed in there. See how smooth that is? Not chunky anymore. Alright. Now that we're done with that, I got a lot more stuff to do over here. So why don't you guys just kick back and I'll talk to you in a bit. See ya. Put that stuff on a saucepan so that we can boil it. But before you boil that, we're gonna butter our pan. We butter the pan so that if you pour it on there, it doesn't stick when you take it off, because that's just gonna be very hard to take off when it sticks. And after we're done boiling it, we're gonna pour it in the frog mold and we're gonna let it cool and freeze.
Well, first, after we boil it, we're going to let it cool down first.
Yeah, and then we're going to put it in the freezer.
Yeah, then we'll put it in the mold
and
and
then
then the freezer. Yes, you got it. Yeah, okay. So go ahead.
So now we're going to butter the pan. Again, when you're cooking, make sure that there's always an adult beside you. There's no adult right behind the camera. That's just Casper the ghost. He's holding up the camera. What's up, Casper?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Now that it's buttered up, I'm gonna show you. We're gonna pour this onto there. Hold it by the bottom. Set this on the pan, and here, put it to our side, and
I'll put it on medium.
All right, medium.
Mm-hmm.
It's this one.
Mm-hmm. But remember, you gotta.
Oh, it's not on.
You gotta light it first. See, this is why you have an adult. What do
you mean? There's no adult.
So you light, then you adjust it to medium. Okay. So that's medium. There we go. You just keep an eye on it.
Alright.
Once it boils, then we let it simmer. Then we pour it in the mold.
We gotta mix it around so that it can melt properly. And once we're done with this, we're gonna let it cool for a bit, and then we're gonna pour it into the frog toads, whatever. You can call them whatever.
Well, according to the Harry book,
it's a toad.
Yes, he's a toad. Peppermint Toads.
They called it a toad. I'm assuming they called it a toad back then because like they usually used toads in their like magic and stuff.
Okay. So how many books, the Harry Potter series, have you read so far?
I've only read 3. I stopped at 3 because I've gotten more busy lately.
Okay.
Doing stuff. Not too busy that I can't upload content for you guys, but still, I haven't been able to read a lot lately. But I've gotten up to 3, which is good. I've watched all the movies after the books, which is pretty sure what most of you guys do.
How long is each book, man?
Each book is very long. Like, it took us a month or 2 just to finish, like, a couple of chapters.
Wow. That's incredible. Yeah.
I've been reading. I started reading chapter books in first grade. In first grade, my first ever chapter book is James and the Giant Peach. James and the Giant Peach was my first ever. My second was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I even got sent a little chocolate Hershey's bar with like a copied gold ticket inside.
I remember seeing it. Yeah.
My third book was, I think, the Ichabod. I don't think any of you know what the Ichabod is, but the Ichabod is kind of like a monster that like lives in the mountains, kind of like a Yeti.
I think that's looking good, man.
Yep.
I think we can. It's boiling now, so now we can cut it off.
Alright, I'm gonna turn.
Good.
Alright.
And now, just to be on the safe side, I would push that back to the back burner, so that way no one can mistakenly
Knock it over.
Burn
Burn themselves.
Yeah, that would be a catastrophe.
Alright, we'll see you guys in a bit when it's fully cooled down. So, the thing is cooled down. We're about to pour it in the freezer overnight. And when we wake up, hopefully, we'll have some delicious peppermint frogs. All set. We're gonna pop this in the freezer and sleep, and then hopefully when we wake up it's gonna be all ready, and then we're gonna pop them out. And look at these delicious frogs. If you look at the bottom, you can kind of see the shape of the frog, kind of not. All right, see you next time.